heaven. Act I, shadows of doubt. The seminary corridors felt like rivers of silence, stretching into eternity with a hushed reverence. The thick tapestries absorbing my footfalls as though the very walls conspired to keep my presence a secret. Dust motes swirled in the last light of the setting sun, casting long shadows through stained glass windows, turning the hallway into a kaleidoscope of vivid orange and deep blues. My heart felt like a tangled mess, akin to the trees outside whipped by a restless wind. Doubts crowded my mind, their presence insistent and unyielding, as if the very air I breathed was tainted with uncertainty. Father Michael, the old priest sat in calm repose on the chapel's oak bench, his eyes half open, the very picture of serene contemplation. His presence was as familiar and enduring as the flickering lamp above the tabernacle, a steady flame, barely wavering, yet undeniably alive. Father, I called softly, uncertain if my voice was a disruption or a plea. He opened his eyes but remained silent, inviting me to speak or to fall into the silence with him. His calm demeanor and unspoken assurance that the sacred space held room for both. I slumped beside him, the weight of my doubts pressing heavily on my shoulders. Does God really hear us? Or am I just talking into the wind? He lifted a wrinkled hand, more eloquent in its silence than any words could ever be. A gentle invitation to explore the deeper questions of the soul. The chapel's air was thick with an ancient reverence, and I felt the weight of it settling around me. I closed my eyes, willing myself to pray, but the words tangled like fish in a net, elusive and slippery in the face of my uncertainties. Later, alone in my room, the familiar surroundings offered little comfort. I fell to my knees, feeling the cool touch of the wooden floor through the thin fabric of my trousers. The shadows crept in even here, though the pale glow from the window stretched across the floor like a gentle reminder of day. A crisis loomed, my heart heavy with unanswered questions. With hands folded tightly in an almost desperate clasp, I sought solace in the act of prayer. Lord of mercy, I whispered, my voice a mere breath in the quiet room. If you are truly there, hear my cry, I'm drowning in doubt. Show me that my prayers are more than empty echoes. I remained still listening, the silence a thick, expectant blanket. The world outside fell away, leaving just my breathing and the faint rustle of trees beyond the window. For the first time it felt less like a ritual and more a raw, unguarded plea, a begging for an answer, for a sign that I was heard. The next evening, drawn by an inexplicable pull, I returned to the chapel. I sat, my focus drawn to the lamp's small flame. Father Michael was there as always, a silhouette serene against the gathering dusk, offering a quiet companionship that asked for nothing in return. This time I sought no words from him. Instead I settled silently at the altar's foot, letting my breathing match the rhythm of my heart. As I watched the flame, its steady flicker whisper be your breathing, a thought intruded, soft as a dawn breeze. It wasn't an audible voice, but a whisper in my soul, an echo of the divine that stirred something deep within. I close my eyes, surrendering to the gentle urging, shepherd of my soul. I pray the words unhurried, each syllable a step in faith. Guide me not just in sound, but in silence. Teach me to listen. An unexpected peace washed over me, gentle yet profound, as if the air itself had cleared. When I opened my eyes, the chapel seemed different, more alive, more sacred, every shadow and beam of light a testament to the presence I had longed to feel. As if my own eyes had finally seen it for the sanctuary it truly was. The turning prayer. I unclenched my hands, releasing the tension I'd carried for far too long. This prayer came from the heart. Holy One, take my uncertainties, I surrender them. Fill me with courage to walk where your light leads. A warmth spread within, a gentle flame inside mirrored by the lamp above, offering a silent promise of divine companionship. Rising, I felt lighter, each step forward, leaving the weight of doubt behind. Father Michael caught my eye, a knowing glint in his gaze. Though he spoke not a word, his presence affirmed what my heart had finally discerned. That God spoke in whispers and breaths of prayer, in light, fluttering in silence. The city posed with life beneath a shroud of rain, transforming wet streets into a kaleidoscope of vibrant, distorted colors. Night clung to the town, but the rain bent the darkness into refracted light. Each drop a prism at a lonely bus stop. Under a worn awning, Gabriel stood, his collar turned up against the evening's chill. The wool fabric thin from countless seasons. His breath hung in the air, a whisper to the cold winter's hold. With stark yet small buds of spring defiantly pierced the concrete, whispering renewal. Gabriel's eyes followed the rain's rhythmic descent, while inside his heart stormed with doubt and regret. A melody from the past, an old psalm his grandmother hummed, nudged his memory. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. She sang, her voice soothing life's chaos, a lullaby promising rest with the eternal shepherd. Drawing courage from the memory, Gabriel whispered into the silence, Lord of mercy, I am lost, show me how to return. His plea mingled with the rain's patter, the city's noise transforming into a backdrop for a sacred exchange. A bus arrived and departed with steam hissing brakes, carrying faces hidden beneath umbrellas. Gabriel stayed rooted like the city's steadfast buildings. He recalled when life was vibrant with faith. Before bitterness rooted out the light, I shut against sharp memories. He sought refuge in the old song. The world's bustle faded, replaced by his grandmother's tender voice, guiding him to peace he once knew. Shepherd of my soul, he prayed, his voice trembling like leaves. I need your guidance, your peace. I feel like the prodigal, far from home, yearning for familiar love and forgiveness. Silence embraced him as if the Lord cradled his weary heart, whispering promises of rest and restoration. Forgiveness on a cracked stairwell of his old building, each step echoing in the hushed corridors. Walls whispered of past laughter and tears, childhood games and shared meals. Each step resonated with memories, a symphony of pain and sweetness. At the stairwell's bottom, fingers brushing a worn railing, he hesitated. It had been too long since he faced the one he needed to forgive, the face in which he sought understanding. With a deep breath he entered his brother's apartment, heart tumultuous with fear, hope and apology. Ben, he called softly, voice cracking, the dam breaking after years of silence. I'm sorry, I want to come home. Their conversation healed, each word a stitch in the tear that had separated them. Divine whispers urged reconciliation, to mend what time and pride had severed. The brothers embraced, renewing trust and love. Hearts echoing unsaid, yet deeply felt words. Stepping from his brother's apartment, the world felt new. The rain had gentled to a mist, as if heaven painted a fresh reality, mirroring healing in his heart. On the doorstep, cool droplets felt like baptism, cleansing old resentments and regrets. Gabriel stood still, letting the quiet seep into his bones, feeling the Holy One guiding him. The world held its breath in reverent silence, and in that stillness he heard the psalm again, guiding him back to faith, family, and himself. Each step felt lighter, the burden lifted, the path ahead illuminated by grace. Lord of mercy, you guide my wandering heart. In storms and stillness, you weave paths back to you. I thank you for grace, for renewing my soul. Help me to walk in your light, restore